Welcome you guys to our first site meeting via YouTube. This is for August 2019. One of our first discussion items is going to be our playground binders. Your director should have passed around a red binder to put the playground checklist in. That morning person still should be doing that daily and filling that out there.
2018-19 records should have already been sealed up in a manila envelope. Those need the name of the child, 2018-19, and the child's date of entry on them. If you have records from last year that are for children who are still in the program or might still be age eligible for the program, those need to be locked up and kept on site. If you have records from last year where children are over 3 years old and are no longer eligible for an early Head Start program, those records can be closed up in the manila envelopes and they can be sent to central office for storage. We have to keep them on site here for a period of time. So if you'll just check your files, make sure those have been done. Be sure that you leave in those files, in your blue folders, be sure that you leave the confidentiality log, the red folder, and the brigance. They stay in there. They don't get put in a manila folder. They stay in your records from year to year.
For those that are participating in CDA Zoom, we will be sending out guidelines for your proctor. Your proctor more than likely will be your director or assistant director. They will be in charge of making sure you're in your seats by 6 o'clock, you're awake, you're not on your phone, you're participating. So make sure you're following those guidelines. This is a pilot program. We want it to go well, so we do ask that you are cautious of those things.
Also, please go into TRIS and check your TRIS records to be sure that everybody got credit for all of the pre-service trainings that we did back in July. That's really important that we check that. We found a few mistakes. We had some people that went in and checked and they were missing an hour or missing a training. We want to be sure that you get credit for that, and if we wait too long, it's going to be really hard to do that. So go into your TRIS record, your personal TRIS record, check and make sure that you got credit for all the trainings that we offered you. There should be 14 hours of training, 14 hours of credit in there for the trainings that we did in July at the pre-service.
Also, being that it's been so hot out lately, we want to be sure that you're checking your weather charts, you're checking that heat index. Be sure if you're uncertain at all to check with your director. If you know it's going to be very warm out, maybe possibly trying to go out in the morning to utilize that time to go outside with children, but we want to be sure that we're following those weather charts. So we have created a site-specific email through Gmail for each site. Each teacher will have access to this email. This is where you will receive the link to our site meeting YouTube video. We also will utilize this email maybe to send you an article we find or a good activity to share, just another way of communicating with you. This is strictly just to be used for that purpose, no other purpose at all. OVEC will manage those email accounts. So we will be sharing those with you and your directors. So if you have any questions, please see myself or Kathy or your director are having trouble accessing that. Our IT department did place the Gmail app on all iPads, so you should be able to access it there.
So it's going to be really important that you go in and check that email periodically so that you'll know when the site meetings are ready, or you'll know if there's other site-specific things that need to come to you that you need to know about. ITERS 3, we have already begun these. They're going well. I can't overstate the importance of our ITERS scores. Be sure that you're looking at those checklists. If you have any questions about anything that needs to be in your room, talk with your director or talk with one of us. We want to be sure that these scores are high. We've just gone over into a new grant cycle, and it's very, very important to this program that our ITER score, that everything be above a 5. The ITERS 3, we've talked about this before, is huge on interactions. We actually have to, in the 3 hours that we're there, we have to see you interact in every single area that's on the ITERS 3. So if you have everything that you're supposed to have in blocks, and children don't go there, and you don't encourage children to go there, you don't get a good score on that. You'll score a 1 on that, because if children aren't going there in the ITERS 3, it's your responsibility to be sure that they go there, to be sure that they interact. So that could look like you walking over to the block center and talking about, oh, I think I'm going to build, and then encouraging children to build with you and to do things with you. So all of the areas have to be addressed with interaction. So we are looking forward to some great ITER scores. We've had those before, and we know that you all are in there. Most important thing, look at your book. Ask the director for your book. Look at your checklist, and then look at your book. And we had a girl a couple of years ago. She was a brand new teacher. She did amazing, one of the highest scores that we ever had on ITERS. And so when she was asked, how did you know what to do? She said, I read the book. So reading that book, looking at the information that you've been given, super important.
We're going to try to do an ITERS tip for you guys once a month on these site meetings. And this month is be sure to offer water to toddlers and twos between meals. So that is one of the requirements on there for that. This is just a little fun thing to do. We want to just offer you something each month that maybe you haven't thought of. Maybe you have. We see some really cool things when we're out. But don't forget, this month it's hot outside. Don't forget to use your outdoor art easel. It's a fun way to do art, and it leaves you with very little cleanup because all the mess stays outside. So, or use water for that painting. Put some paper out there, some brown paper. I've talked about this with some of you already. Take a little container with water, some paint brushes. Let children paint with water on that paper to their heart's content. And then you can talk about, that can lead into all kind of science activities. You can talk about evaporation and what happens to that water outside on a hot day. So that's a really fun summertime activity, is to get that water out there with some paint brushes. Kids will paint everything, and the great thing is it doesn't matter because it all dries up and goes away. Doesn't even leave a mess. We've got some upcoming things due this month. One of those being your initial home visits are due August 31st.
Your independent study, we ended up, I think I've told most of the people at my sites this, we ended up the pre-service week with one of our presenters. We were not able to count that as TRIS credit. It was just an oversight, and so you ended up with 14 hours instead of the 15 that we had promised. So all of you, I'm sure, have seen the independent study. That needs to be back to us by August 23rd, and when you send that back to us, we will go in. That's already approved in TRIS. We will go in and enter your other hour in there to be sure that you have the 15 hours of TRIS credit for the year that we committed to be sure you have.
Also, just upcoming training and events. 2020 Child Care Partner Pre-Service is going to be July 13th through the 16th. So that is a week after it normally is. So there is a change there. We want to get you prepared for that for next year.
And that seems like a long way off right now, but when you start planning for it and thinking about it, it comes around so quickly. So be sure and mark your calendars to be there for July 13th through 16th, 2020. School readiness. I hope everybody posted your school readiness goals in your classroom. I hope you not only posted them, but you're looking at them. I hope you're talking to parents about them. I hope that you are being intentional in being sure that those are addressed. The way we want to talk about school readiness goals is we're going to concentrate on one each month when we do this. So the first one is that children will increase their ability to participate cooperatively and constructively in a group. And we feel like one of the best ways to do that is by using baby doll circle time. All of you that have heard me talk about baby doll circle time know what a big fan I am of baby doll circle time. So the objectives that are associated with that goal is TSG Objective 3A, balances needs and rights of self and others. Age-appropriate implementation of baby doll circle time helps children understand the needs and the rights of others in the group. We want to, when we do this, we want to encourage children to respect the space of others, to respect the feelings of others, and to think about the needs of those babies. Modeling, when we model responsive caregiving with both the children and the baby dolls, we increase a child's empathy and we build awareness of the needs of others in those children. So as all of you know, that baby doll circle time is way, way more than just playing with babies.
So you may have your baby here and you may say, my baby's crying. You know, we would model, patting, calming, soothing, that responsive caregiving, meeting that baby's needs. Another objectives that it covers is takes care of its own needs appropriately. Talking about the baby doll's needs provides language for children to express their own needs. So you may say, I see you're upset, you know, and giving that verbiage so then that child can say, Miss Smith, I'm upset. So yeah, much more than just playing and singing, this is my baby's in my lap. What else do we want to say about that?
Talk about being, how we talked about being enthusiastic with your babies and how the video shows when you move their arms.
Yeah, a lot of the times, you know, in the lesson it will say, you know, maybe, you know, your baby's sitting down. So I see a lot of you that will just make your baby sit, but maybe going, and sitting the baby up, making it very engaging for the children. And you'll know when you lose your group, maybe you'll do something exciting with the baby. Oh, peekaboo! You know, so keeping it exciting for them so they want to participate. Anything else for baby doll circle time?
I don't think so, but so many of especially the social emotional objectives can be met just with baby doll circle time. I'm convinced you could do just about everything you need to do in a classroom if you just do an age-appropriate good job with baby doll circle time. So important as well to be sure that you're familiar with that lesson. It's not really it's not really interesting to children if you have to go back to the book and read it every time. And I'm not saying don't refer to the book, because that's perfectly fine. I'd have to refer to it if I was out there doing it. But the more familiar you are with that, with what's in the book, the more you can keep eye contact with your children, the more you can respond to their needs so that they understand about that, how to be responsive to other people. I think that's super important.
And there's 5 goals. We're just addressing one this month. We really want to get down those goals, spend a lot of time on each one, giving you some good examples of how you can meet those goals, what you can do with children, what you encourage parents to do with children to meet those goals. So next month we'll tackle another one. So just make sure when you get this, you're reading over what are those 5 goals. But just today we've just spoke about the goal number 1.
and think about what you've done, what you've done from the last time we met until now. Think about what you've done to intentionally address those goals. If you have some things that you've done that are exciting or that you'd like to share with the group, send us an email and let us know what you're doing to purposefully, to intentionally meet those goals. Because you guys are out there with the kids all the time. You have great ideas that we don't have. We're doing something else, and you know what works, what's great with your children. So if you have ideas about meeting any of these goals that you think would be helpful to the group, please don't hesitate to share those with us. We would be excited to see those. Do we want to talk about these that we've included emails?
Yeah, there's a section here for specialist needs. For those that have been through a site meeting before, it just talks if you have any concerns for family service, health and safety, disabilities, education. So what we have done is listed those contact people and their email, so you can contact them directly if you have a question, if you don't see us out at a site, or by all means you can email myself or Kathy or call us, and we'll get you the help you need. But we wanted to be sure you had their email addresses so you could contact them.
Curriculum fidelity. The section of curriculum fidelity that we want to address today is Part 2, Item K. And this is an issue almost everywhere we go. I'm not going to say everywhere because there are some people that do it well, but this is an issue almost everywhere we go. And we know that it takes lots of materials. I almost said stuff. Lots of stuff and materials to keep children engaged, to keep them busy, just to meet ITERs, just to meet school readiness goals. We have to have lots of age-appropriate materials. But Part 2, Item K in Curriculum Fidelity talks about classroom clutter. And in order to meet fidelity on this, it says that classroom clutter does not interfere with routines and experiences. For example, the tops of shelves and counters are organized and only have necessary items on them. Storage space in the classroom is used efficiently, and miscellaneous materials are organized and put away throughout the day. That's Creative Curriculum Volume 1, page 40.
So we've provided you with some action steps on how you can meet that goal. One would be to organize your classroom during rest time, but being diligent to maintain proper supervision. So make sure you're still checking children, but that's a good time you can use to, get your yuck bucket toys out, or clean those, or make sure all the pretend food is in the dramatic play area. Another thing would be prepare materials before daily experience and activities begin. So maybe you're a teacher that comes in later and your kids are in another room. Maybe gather all your materials, get the room ready for children to come in and start learning. Another one would be, when possible, allow children to help you organize and put things away. What a great way to teach independent skills and get them in a routine of doing that. So they're used to build a sense of community. This is our classroom, and this is how we take care of our classroom. Another way would be utilize the picture labels to help keep your classroom organized. So, and this helps children, here's a basket, it says it has cars, we need all the cars in here. So another way you can help with them helping you keep your room organized. Anything else that you can think of, Miss Kathy, for actions?
I don't see anything else on there for actions. I do want to say that the key to whether these site meetings, when we decided to put site meetings on, we decided to do the YouTube thing and to put those online for you. When we did site meetings last month, we have 43 classrooms between us. And so we gave the information out about 43 times, because in most sites it's not possible to have a site meeting with everyone at one time. And even with giving the information that we needed to get out, even with giving that out 43 times, we calculated that we missed about a third of all classroom staff. Because the times when we can do these, the times when children are resting, that is also the prime time for teachers, for staff to be able to go out and have their breaks. So we talked about it, and we decided that this might be a way to work harder, to work smarter and not harder, and to better use resources, to better use our time, to better use OVEC resources. So, but the key to whether this is successful or whether it's not successful is going to be communication with you. We in no way want this to impede that communication. We want to be sure that we still have the communication. We want to hear what you have to say. If you have specific things at your sites, we're going to be there anyway. We're not going to be going classroom to classroom and doing the site meetings, but we're going to be there anyway. So either jot down, or best case scenario, send us an email telling us if you need something, if you have questions about these, about the things we talked about today, if you have things that you need us to look at specifically, to address specifically when we come to your site. That really, really, really will help us focus. Will help us to focus on what we need to do and be sure that we're meeting your needs, and not just feeding you information, but making sure that we're meeting your needs and supporting you in all the places that you need. For instance, we just talked about ITERS 3. If you have questions about anything to do with those before we come and do your ITERS 3, just shoot us an email or give us a call. Let us know, and we will do our best to be there in a timely manner to meet those needs. As you know, our CCP sites don't have an IFSM at this point, a separate IFSM. Let me say those letters right. Jennifer and I are both your IFSM and your quality mentor. So we want to be sure that we don't let things fall through the cracks, that we get everything done that we need to do, and that we support you in all the ways that we intend to support.
And another great thing about this is these videos will always be there. You can always reference back to them. If we covered something that maybe you need a reminder on, or you have a new staff member you think would be beneficial to watch an old video, they will always be there for you to reference. So yeah, we're really excited about it. We hope you guys like it, and look forward to September.
Yes.
Thank you.
Watch for your follow-up emails. Be sure and check that email and let us know how we can support you, because that's what we're here to do.